Why does the black man serve the white man? Why does everything the black man do benefit the white man? Why does the black man say freedom is doing what I want to do? And why is it that everything he wants to do enriches the European?
Welcome to the desert of the real.
What you see right now is a fallout. The bottom is dropping out right now on us, you know?
I just want to say, brother Holipsism, your mic is open whenever you want to say anything.
Okay, I'm here.
Peace and love, brother. How you doing?
Peace, fam. How you doing?
Everything is fine, brother. Everything's fine. Did you want to chime in on infrastructure? In fact, please chime in on infrastructure.
Well, Kala would seem to be handling it pretty good. You're the master. Me and him are on the same page in that regard. It's like there's somebody in the group Agenda. I don't know who that is, but they were talking about security, and I was telling them that security and defense is an in-house discussion. It's like, why are we talking? We're not even at the stage where we can even talk about that because we haven't even created a we yet. Like, when we talk about we and us and our, it's just an abstractions. It's not like anything tangible yet. And that's what me and Kala have been talking about for the longest.
Right.
You know, before you start saying what are we going to do, can we first have the we? Can we first have the our and the us instead of these vague abstractions that we throwing around? Because whenever we say us and we, it's basically just talking about us aesthetically. It's never us socially, economically, and politically, because on that level we don't exist. Yep. So my thing is, let's create the we, and then we can start talking about what we should do. Until you do that, it's like putting the cart before the horse.
Yep. And also the infrastructure part is like this. You have to have something, right, before you talk about philosophizing about it, you know? Let me give you an example. I think who I had this conversation with, Hope and I think we had this conversation. We talked about religion, okay? Look at the white church, the Mormons, and look at the black church and everything, right? And Hope, you said this. Yeah, I got this from you, Hope. I know I did. A white man will go to church, and I think you quote Amos Wilson on this, right? White people go to church, right? And you see them all the time. They're out there in the Presbyterians and saying the same thing. Jesus this, Jesus that. They're singing their hymns and everything like that. But you'll see a white man. He may be a judge, and the white man may own a mechanic shop. The one may be a millionaire. They're all in the same church and everything, and they're basically praying, thank God for our blessings and everything like that. Well, in the same community, go to the black church. The black people are poor, disenfranchised, broken down, got all kinds of problems and everything like that, and they're in the church praying to the same religion, you know? Same religion, different realities. White people, their version of Christianity teaches them, okay, yes, when they basically took this land or built whatever like that, they're thanking God for what they have, you know? Black people, we were taught to be satisfied in mediocrity, you know? We were taught that, just wait for our pie in the sky. That's black Christianity. Wait for our pie in the sky. Wait for hereafter. You don't hear that in the white church. White churches talk about, yes, God blessed us with this, and we're doing this, and you sit everybody on their choir and everything like that. It must be nice thing on the choir that everyone there is making $200,000 a year, you know, and they're sending their kids off to the best school, ain't got a problem in the world. I'd be singing too, you know. But the bottom line is, you go to the black church, they're just singing and everything like that. They got all these problems. Same religion, but the black people are thinking, let me get my just reward. I'm taught to suffer. This is the way it's supposed to be. The only person that's got money is the pastor. Give him all the money. He got the nice car. And I just wait for my just reward and when I die in the hereafter. Same religion, but different reality. So it doesn't matter what religion you have. If your reality doesn't change, it doesn't mean a thing. And now you can take that with any other religion you want to. Until we have an infrastructure where we can produce wealth and money, opportunity, security, happiness, joy, and all the stuff like that, it's going to be the same thing. You can worship Allah, Hotep, whoever it is. You know, until we have something where we can basically build and maintain our own thing, our own infrastructure, our own institutions, our educational system, with our own scientists, our own business community. That's another thing we got to stop doing. We got to stop demonizing people who basically are good at business. We're going to need people to know how to make millions of dollars. We're going to need people to know how to basically look at a coastline and want to put up 15 marinas, you know, and get engaged in fishing, you know, in the fishing industry, build a fishing industry. Why demonize that person because he knows how to make money like that? Isn't he going to take great tax revenue? Isn't he going to employ people and create other opportunities? Isn't that a problem solved? Won't those black men that he's going to do business with, won't they be able to feed their families and protect their women and do all those things black women say we don't do? You know, so let's not demonize people. You know, so.
Big brother, Ho, can you please go into what you went into on your YouTube video with the hard infrastructure and soft infrastructure?
Yeah, sure. Just to build on what Kala just said, I think that the focus, like and man, I don't even know what to refer to it as anymore. Like, it's not the conscious community. It's not African-centered progressive community. I don't even know. It's like, but just that talk out in the atmosphere. We concentrate more on social issues and personal choices than we do infrastructure. Infrastructure is the most important thing. And until we bring and raise the level of our conversation up to that, all that we're engaging in is just hyperbole and doublespeak resulting in nothingness. That's just, you know, like, for example, I just said, this is what I say all the time, and I would love for somebody to show me that I'm wrong in this assessment. We, us, and our do not exist on a social, economic, and political level. When you say we and when you say us, you say our, you are referring to an abstraction, like we in a sense of aesthetically we. We all look the same. But on a social, political, and economic level, we does not exist. So it's just annoying to me when I see it. I don't know how many times or how many different ways I can make that point without people getting the picture. Before you can start talking about strategies and tactics, you got to first develop the we. You got to develop the infrastructure. And that's what Kala keeps talking about all the time. We need land where you can control the infrastructure, where you can build your roads and your highways, where you can have your communication, where you can have your airports and your seaports. Because all people have to do is look at where they live. Do you think the mass I don't know, who's in New York? Am I the only one in New York?
Well, we're both all three of us is from New York. But
all right, well, you're familiar with New York City. Do you think that the people that control the MTH infrastructure give a damn whether you're a Muslim or a Hindu?
No,
you think they
all.
care whether you pray to Mecca or whether you all of this stuff is ridiculous when you start talking about infrastructure, because infrastructure is just there to be, like, the purpose of building an infrastructure and the people that live in that infrastructure is to maintain it. It doesn't waste its time. Infrastructure is not prejudice. It doesn't waste its time dealing with what your belief system is. You got to get on that train and take it from point A to point B. And while you have to do that, I'm going to benefit from it.
Right. Yep.
So all people of all different ideologies and faiths and sexual orientations is all right in MTA, and who's walking away with the vast majority of that money? The mass transit.
Right.
Do you think they care? Are they going to go in any campaign and say, oh, you shouldn't do this, or you shouldn't sleep with this person, you shouldn't worship this religion? It's all ridiculous. So the discussion has to be centered around land. And once we talk about land and we talk about infrastructure, because first of all, just infrastructure alone is going to create jobs.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
You know?
Yeah. Yep.
And like I said in my video, we have to concentrate. And when it comes to infrastructure, the people that's going to be at that discussion is going to be STEM field people: science, technology, engineering, mathematics.
Mm-hmm.
Because last time I checked, you can't pray an infrastructure into existence.
No, not at all.
You can't fast and meditate an infrastructure into existence.
Not at all.
And that's all I'm saying. So, like, a lot of these discussions that people are engaging in, if we're going to get on a social level, we will be fighting for the rest of our lives.
Yep.
But if we get into an infrastructure, because I don't know of anybody, no matter what faith they're from, that don't feel that running water is a necessity. I mean, we can be Christian, we can be Muslim, we can be whatever, but I don't know if anybody that figured, I don't want to have my toilet water separated from my drinking water. I don't want to be able to take public transportation to get from point A to point B. I don't want to be able to get on an airplane or go through roads and who is having that discussion and saying that they don't want that? Those things are called common denominators. And until we start having a discussion on common denominators, because that cuts across all that ideology, it cuts across all your religious beliefs, it cuts across all of that. I want us to exist in an infrastructure that we can control. And when we control it, then we can sit there and fight all day long. You want to fight about Allah and Jehovah? Knock yourself out. We'll both take the train to get to the discussion to talk about Jehovah and Allah.
And then you know the thing that's funny? It's really good, as you said, Brother Holt, is the fact that when you look at a lot of people, and I had this argument with some of my brothers on the internet, and I had this argument with his brother the other day, right? And I said, look, part of the problem is we don't have infrastructure. The white man controls the infrastructure. I said, white man controls America. He owns America. No, he don't. This ain't his land. I wish you would have got on this thing. It's a New Black World Review, that group. He said, white man don't control. He stole it. I said, like you said. It don't matter. All that does not matter. It doesn't matter. The bottom line is this. When you drive on the road, right, some white man built that. He reminds you every day when you say PT, such and such highway, Memorial Highway. It reminds you every day you're driving on their roads. And
I don't care how black nationalist you are. You're going to go into your pocket and pull out and pay that toll.
Play that toll. They'll maybe give you a Martin Luther King highway here and there. Like we got one here, in Virginia. We got a Martin Luther King highway, 2 of them. But the bottom line is this. Majority of roads and everything, Chesapeake Bay Bridge, nicknamed the Lucius Kellum Bridge, He was a governor at the time, when the bridge was built. The bottom line is you're going to pay that $12 or $15 toll, whatever it is, on the bridge nowadays, The bottom line is this. And when you're driving down from New York to the Carolinas and everything, you're going on 13 like I go on 13. You're going to pass on Route 1 to Route 13 to Chesapeake Bay, all stuff like that, I don't know anybody who said, look, man, I don't care about the infrastructure or whatever like that. Ain't nobody riding on a dirt road. And if you are riding, and you get pulled over in a car, you better pull out a driver's license because the motor vehicle infrastructure in this country says you better have a license or they're going to take your car away and put you in jail. So infrastructure, everything like that, who controls it, who makes it, is what we live by. We're on Facebook right now, on Blog Talk Radio right now. Why? Because the electricity is the foundation, right? Allows for fiber optics, allows for internet. Internet allows for Blog Talk Radio,
Right.
All working together. That's infrastructure. We couldn't have this conversation or have this show right now if we just basically say, I don't use white man's infrastructure or not. Every time we get on Blog Talk Radio, we're making the white man rich.
That's why I don't even have the discussion on who is using the white man's this, because we all are. That's the point. We all are. Nobody can sit up and point no bony finger of indignation at anybody else. We all under their infrastructure. That's the point.
That's the point. And we're no different. We haven't moved 1 inch in that regard since our ancestors were on a plantation. All we are is in a glorified plantation. We have not progressed in 400 years in that regard. We let us off the plantation, but it's just like having an electronic car. He knows exactly where we're going to go. Every time we do, we swipe our cards, wherever like that. He knows where we're at, wherever they go. It's his infrastructure. So if you really want to be free, you get your own infrastructure. And how you get your own infrastructure? You get your own land, and declare yourself a nation, And
there you go.